Good evening, Wolfpack. It is the 19th of October. We are making some amazing progress as a project. Had a meeting yesterday, so you may or may not have heard, or you're soon going to realize that the team has hired a full-time animator to work with the project. We're super excited about that. So besides having some support in marketing, we also have an administrative support full-time. Now we have a full-time animator. And this is besides the project of developing the real-world media with a production team that's doing the recording. The interesting thing about it is that we're going to be seeing the actual first animated cartoon delivered around the same time that you're going to see a video from the production team. We're doing a video shoot on Tuesday, the 22nd, next week, and that should be done, I don't know exactly how long, maybe a week and a half after that. And the same with the animation. Our first maybe 1, 2, 3 minute video is going to be done in probably about 10 days or so. So I'm excited because I do seriously believe that, again, I'm not a financial advisor. You're going to do your own research and make your own choices, but I believe that it's going to get a lot of attention when we have two different interesting videos, one being a funny animated video that hopefully is viral and gets a lot of attention, the other being a real-world video about this project, but to be followed up by more of the pieces of the documentary that's being worked on. Again, in the last few days, there's a lot that's happened. If you haven't heard what has happened, there's a lot of people who have fully let it sink in that their thoughts and beliefs about the original Saitama Inu team, which became the Saita Chain team, the STC team, the STC project, Saita Realty, many of those things, Saita Pro, that they're accepting, or again, everything remains to be seen in the future, but they're seeing that their belief that there was going to be a resurgence in this bull run of that project is very, very slim. And it's a cold, hard reality, especially if you had amazing amounts of money back in 2021, watched it go down because you held while the actual devs who were behind the project were dumping on the project, telling you to hold. So you're holding and becoming essentially a victim. And that's the reality of it, is that we have thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who are legitimately victims. There wouldn't be a form that you can fill out from the FBI or whoever it is, the U.S. government, that you're able to fill in demanding a share of monies that will be confiscated by them from the project if we were not perceived as being victims of essentially a scam. And so looking back, we look at the decisions that, we individually made as investors. We bought something, it went up. Many of us held on and didn't cash in when we see that, hey, we could have. It was the peak. We had an anonymous wallet. I could have gone in and sold all of my tokens and made huge winnings. But there was such a strong belief with many of us in the Saitama project. Many of you know my story, that I swapped my tokens, vast majority of them, for Saita Realty, and I truly believed that that was a smart move. I believed that Saita Realty was going to become more easily accessible, and that the market cap was going to go up drastically, and that was going to be a profitable decision. And during the last three and a half years, I realized that that was a very bad decision, because that the team did not support that project. There really wasn't any connection with real estate going on other than a house that was bought. So, again, do I feel happy to have seen something that could have been many millions of dollars go to zero? Do I feel happy about that? Not in the least bit. And that's where I think we're seeing so many different perceptions of how people respond and how people behave in the face of these situations. And that's why I pulled up the little meme here, this little graphic. Winners focus on what they can control. I can't control MK. I can't control Russ. I can't control decisions that were made in the past in a room that I know nothing about as to what they were or were not going to do with Saita Realty. I can tell you that when I talked about Saita Realty, I actually truly believed that it had great potential of being something good. Definitely a 2x, a 3x, a 10x. Whether it would have been a 200x from where it was at the bottom, that I don't know. But I am still to this day a very strong believer in the relationship between blockchain, cryptocurrency, tokenized assets, and real estate, real world real estate. And I can tell you that I will go on record saying that it will absolutely, in the future, be a very strong correlation. There's things that are being worked on in that. And I think it's just as soon as we get to in where I live in Florida, it's all at the county level. So it's going to be a county is going to be the first mover advantage of using blockchain to document the clerk of the court's records, including deeds, including title encumbrances. And at that point, it's going to become more and more clear or easy to take away friction, just the same way sending assets can be done through the blockchain. So again, it won't have anything to do with site of realty, obviously, at this point, but I truly believe that the idea, the general idea is there. Winners focus on what they can control. I cannot control anything that has happened with the previous project. I can't control the fact that in many cases, in hindsight, looking back, they were absolutely lying to us. That was one of our, my thoughts that I even said when people asked me is, why did I know that that was such a good project? Part of it was that you could see their faces. I knew who we were looking at. I looked at Nam. I looked at Gabe. I looked at Russ. I looked at these guys. I looked at MK and truly felt that they seemed like believable people. Therefore, it gave me a lot more warm and fuzzy than people where it was just a name. Some of them you didn't even ever hear their voices. It was just a text, and it was clear that those people could clearly just dump on a project, and you would never even know who they were. In hindsight, we see that there was still things happening that were not legal, not appropriate, and many of us are standing here as victims. But again, I personally feel like I don't want to be a victim. I want to focus on what I can control. And what I can control is supporting this new token that's been launched with the idea of a regathering of people from the previous wolf pack who want to get back together and the resilience. And so what we're doing is basically creating a great community and the resilience of the real wolf pack. The community that's behind it, not the devs, not the promises of a technology, but just the community getting back together is what is the power of the real wolf pack. And so as we've mentioned before, we've started to get merch. I've got my t-shirt. I got my cup today. And this cup is actually from the link that's on our website. So we have the little shop on the Saitama Wolfpack website. Feel free to go check it out. There's about 10 different products right now. We're going to actually be adding products that are based on some of the new characters that roll out from the animated series that's coming out. That's something we can't control. Now, pieces of the documentary, new people that are coming forward, we're actually getting some new people coming forward who probably would not have come forward if it hadn't been for the events of the last 3, 4, 5 days with the arrests and the indictments. Now they feel that they're comfortable coming and telling their story. They didn't want to. So we're going to hear stories and interviews with some people that we probably would not have heard of or heard from if that hadn't happened, because there was still the belief that STC was going to become big and they didn't want to make anyone upset on that side of the field. At this point, I think it's just truly, and please don't get me wrong, there's all empathy for anybody who lost money in any crypto, honestly. Anyone who gets a rug pull, is fooled or scammed, it's all empathy. And it is clear that this is, this things that people do, devs or others, that what they do to trick people into something as they're going to pull out the rug from under them is wrong. It doesn't follow the golden rule. It's just not right. And in most cases, probably 100% illegal if it's documented. And so, blockchain doesn't have to do with illegality. Blockchain is a technology, just like the internet is a technology. The internet doesn't imply you're doing something illegal. Crypto and blockchain does not have to be illegal. So what we're looking for is the behaviors and the ethics to be connected to blockchain just the same way they would be in the real world, basically following the golden rule. Would you want someone to do that to you? Well, that's my thoughts for today. Again, it's the 19th. We'll be giving you updates every day. Our community actually has 10 spaces this coming week. 10 different X spaces. So if you want to check out which ones they are, jump on one of them, listen in. You can listen while you're driving. You can chime in if you like, and also join our Telegram if you would. We also have a YouTube channel. If you like YouTube, go there, like and subscribe, and share your comments. I'll talk to you soon.